Fantastic Four, issue number 39. We are still a little bit away from the Reckoning War. That is the arc that is coming immediately after this one. And that looks to be the big shakeup that Fantastic Four has been needing in their books for a bit. I'm not saying they've been stale. I've liked The Bride of Doom. I like the stuff with Kang. I think when we are entering into a new era with these characters, there needs to be like the big thing coming for the start of the new year. So the Reckoning War is around the corner, but before we get to the Reckoning War, we do have to kind of wrap up this really fun storyline that Dan Slott crafted for us. In the previous issue, we saw that every single parental figure of the Fantastic Four, Reed, Sue, Ben, Alicia, and Dragon Man, they were in court, and the judge was like, you all seem like you're terrible parents, because the wizard was actually yelling at them, being like, yeah, they're terrible parents, look at what they made their kids do. So this time around, we have to go back to court and kind of defend ourselves and see why we're actually fit to be parents and all of that. And you know, Dan Slott's writing works really well for the Fantastic Four. I say that every issue because he likes the big scope and the big scale, and when you have a bunch of multiple characters that need to have intersecting stories like this, it works perfectly. So when we open up this book, we see that the wizard is spying on Bentley. He has like some weird genetic code in his eye that the wizard can tap into and he can see what he's up to. And basically, we know that in the previous issue, Bentley was thinking that he was looking at him somehow and he didn't understand what it was. So now we see that there is a way that the wizard is looking at him. Then we cut to the Baxter building. We see everybody's in their Sunday best and they're headed off to go to the court. Johnny shows up. He's like, yo, where are you guys all going? Like, I thought we were going to deal with my issue because it's the most pressing. I can't stop being on fire. Can somebody please do something about this? And he's literally just yelling at them like, I don't care what's going on with your life right now. I'm literally on fire. Like, I cannot stop this. And Reed is trying to tell him, like, we have to defend our children right now. Take a chill pill for a second, dude. And he gets so mad. He starts yelling at everybody. But Sue just comes up and slaps him in the face and stops him, and Johnny flies away. And we'll get back to Johnny in a bit here, but I do like this because, yeah, he needed this. He has been pretty negative in this situation. I think there is the precedent that he should be the priority, but you might lose your children. And Johnny, you can be on fire for a second longer and have everything work out okay. So, you know, we're headed down to the courthouses. Everyone's just talking to Jennifer, and she's like, all right, we're going to play this a certain way. We're going to be nice. We're going to be calm. There's going to be no outbursts. We're going to be professional and get everything done properly. Does everybody understand that? Ben, do you understand that? She's like, okay, do we got this? Let's do this the right way. The first person they call to the stands is Joe Venn, and of course that is the adopted son of Ben and Alicia, and he's talking about, you know, there's a lesson that my dad taught me. And it's going into this really nice flashback where we see that Joe changes the color of his skin with this like device that he was given. And basically it's like, my dad's telling me I need to fit in society. And in order to do that, I have to try to make friends. So he changes the color of his skin to look more human. And Ben's like, dude, that's not what I'm trying to tell you. Like, you should be proud of your heritage and where you come from, and you shouldn't have to hide yourself from the world. You think there's days go by where I don't wish I looked like this, but I have become comfortable in myself, and that is what I am now. So this lesson from his dad kind of tells Joe, like, okay, so I can still make friends and fit in while still being who I am. And he breaks the device that would change his skin to the human color. And you see the wizard just scream at him, like, you destroyed a valuable artifact that's worth like $500,000. He's like, yeah, because he was hiding who he is. My kid did good. Like, he crushed that shit. It's great. And I like how easily Ben has transitioned to becoming the father figure. He's always been that way on this team, even with people like Johnny and Sue. He's always been the mature figure, being the different kind of father than what we see Reed acting like, and he's just been great at this. And I cannot believe it's taken literally this long to make Ben and Alicia have kids and an actual family. Like, I understand why you don't do it, but it's such a key detail and something that you just want them to have. That I'm just, of course they had things in the past where Ben had his twins and all that, but in modern continuity, this is what they need. Like, when you have Franklin and Valeria, I think Joe and Nikki should be right up there as just as important. Hopefully we'll see that going forward. We have to wait and see. So we cut to the Atlantic Ocean. We see Johnny's just like, I want to get away from fire. So he dives into the ocean. Immediately he's burning all the fish and everything around him, and Namor shows up. He's like, dude, get out. or I'm going to kill you. And he's like, okay, I'm leaving. And then Johnny leaves. He's like, well, that wasn't working. Water didn't put me out. We got back to the courtroom. We see that Nikki did good on the stand. She's like, yeah, Skrulls were great at lying. This is perfect. Everything worked out fine. We see that Bentley's like, I like that you guys are having faith in this, but I need faith in something else. So I'm going to do some research on how to be a lawyer. So he's just ticking and tapping away at his keyboard. And as he's doing that, we see Valeria goes to the stands. And now we're seeing if Reed and Sue are suitable to be the parents of Franklin and Valeria. And we see something that happened with Valeria. She was doing an experiment in her lab, and she forgot to close the roof. So the anti-grav ray she was working on sends her into space. And luckily her dad was there to help her. And she's like, I messed up. I won't do that again. He's like, it's all right, kid. Learn from your mistakes and grow from it. I did the same thing when I was your age, and Ben had to grab me from the ceiling. Lucky I did have a ceiling. And you just see it is the world they grow up in, so they are accustomed to it. And you see the judge is like, well, Valeria, this is like a highly dangerous world that you're living in. She's like, yeah, well, it's the world I'm a part of, and whether I'm with my parents or not, I'm going to be making stuff like this. So if my dad can be there to protect me, then so be it. Like, that's just part of the thing that's happening. So it seems like things are going pretty standard for the team, and that makes sense to me. Like, obviously, we're not going to actually have them lose custody. This isn't an episode of The Simpsons, so they're going to keep their kids, and it's going to be fine. So after Valeria's thing, we cut to the upper part of Earth's atmosphere, and we see that Johnny's like, well, I'm going to go to space, and that'll turn the fire off. He's like, what? Why isn't it turning the fire off? There's no oxygen in space. I shouldn't be on fire. What is happening to me? Then we cut back to see that Franklin is on the stands, and one of the wizard's tactics against them is like, you had to go to therapy because your parents screwed you over. He's like, well, parents didn't screw me over. Like, there's a negative stigma towards therapy, and it's actually helping me. My parents recognized that I needed help outside of them. And he shares an intimate moment about his life, which was kind of like the basis of the title for this book. It's like the 6 Faces of Franklin Richards. And Franklin, for pretty much throughout, like, losing his powers, has kind of been on this trajectory where he's like, if I'm a mutant, I want to be with the mutants. I don't have the mutant power. They won't let me be with the mutants. So he is kind of just slowly showing his depression. And basically, it is depression. And he's showing, like, the way he views himself. Trauma is showing the different incarnations of Franklin throughout the years. And basically, it's Franklin like, I saw the version of myself that was the young kid that had unlimited potential, and everybody was afraid of me. They saw this godlike figure as a child who could potentially wipe out and destroy worlds. And that's terrifying. And then when I grew up, I saw this version of myself from the future who actually becomes this godlike figure. And I was terrified by that, and I'm like, that is who I'm supposed to become, the most important and powerful being in the universe. And I feel like the further I go on the path that I'm currently on, I'm stepping away from that. And in that page, we see every alternate incarnation of Franklin, and it's like, hey, there's the weird one from the 90s with the headband, there's the kid from the Power Pack, there's every version of Franklin. And it's like, yeah, this kid was the promised child. He was the prodigal son that was going to sit off into space and keep the Marvel Universe going. He's broken now and he doesn't have his powers, so things with him have kind of like dwindled. And that would mess with you when you were supposed to be like the usher in the new era, and now you're just nothing, and that's going to break you. And you see like his parents are there to support him. What he's going through, he's like, you don't have to be anything else than our son. You are important no matter what happens. And that's a nice message that the judge is like, well, thank you for sharing that. I mean, I pretty much understand here. Why don't we get Bentley and we'll have it come in. So Bentley's on the stand. He's like, I'd prefer to be called Bentley Whitman. And we see Wizard's like, no, there's only one Bentley Whitman, and that's me. And actually, no, because we see somebody burst through and he's like, that man's an imposter. I'm the original Bentley Whitman. It's like, what? We should test this theory, get like the scanner on, and we see everyone scanning this guy that just breaks in, and they're just like, who is this him? He's like, yeah, it looks like he's the prime Bentley Whitman. And this makes the wizard freak out. He's like, that's not possible. Like, I was the original. If I'm not the original, I'm number 2. I'm Bentley 2. That's bullshit. And he's so pissed. He storms out of the room. He's like, curse you, father. I hate all of you. I will have my revenge. And you just see the judge is like, well, why does this happen every time we have a meeting or every time I have somebody in court with a superpower, they burst through a wall or break a window or something. And it's just like, I hate doing superhuman cases. And then you just see that the original Bentley standing around like, we good? Like, can we stop now? It's like, Jen is the one who goes, well, we could unless you want custody of Bentley. He's like, well, not really. Dragon Man's doing fine. I have no objection to him being the, continuing to care for the kid. And he's like, well, that's good. I guess it's over. They just leave the courtroom before the judge gets any more mad at the situation. And we cut back to the Baxter building. It's nighttime. We see that Bentley and Dragon Man are going to head on their own way, just kind of like get out of for a while and do their own thing, whatever that looks like. Who knows? Just kind of like separating the family before the Reckoning War happens. Johnny returns from space. He's like, yo, guys, I'm sorry I yelled. I found this weird like satellite of ours in space. There's a bunch of our junk just floating out there. Should we get that or something? It's like, nope, Johnny, it's fine. That's not priority. You're the priority right now because obviously you were on fire in space. And that means we have to stop looking at you as if you are a human torch and more like a human star. And we're going to figure out exactly how to put out that star. And that's a nice capper to that story. Again, we're jumping right into a big event coming, so it's a nice little end there. We also set up potential more stories coming, and we see that the original Bentley Whitman was actually created by Bentley 23, and he's just like, I saw that the wizard was spying on me. I hacked all this shit. I used it against him. I made the best genetic model of Bentley Whitman, and now I'm going to have my own role in reclaiming my life, and from now on, you can call me the wizard. So Bentley 23 looks like he's going to take up his clone's mantle. It's cool. I mean, we're probably not going to see the original wizard for a while, so yeah, have Bentley do something with that. It's cool to me. I think it works perfectly fine, and it's something to do with the character that, I mean, I probably wouldn't have thought of, so that's cool. And it's a good story. It has a lot of like interesting moving parts. It feels very fluid for like just the 23 pages it is, and that's pretty cool to see. Everybody gets their moment. Every character has their important thing happening, and I think this is a really good issue just to lead us into the next arc, because it's just like, yeah, we're a family. We're going to fight for our family no matter what that is or what it looks like. We are a unit, and we're going to stay together. So that is a good message for this book, and it's just nice to see we could do a courtroom drama right before She-Hulk comes out, because that is exactly what we need this character to be again. So, Fantastic Four, issue number 39. I am going to give an 8 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.